Okay, thanks for the confirmation. Well, good morning. Oh, well, just one more person jumping on board. Let me see. Okay. Good morning, Sharon. Thanks for joining us this morning. It's about to get started, so good morning, welcome at this social media webinar. I'm going to give you some instructions, some tips, some examples and things you can do in social media with your garden center. So let's go through the subjects of today. First of all, the question, what is social media? We're going to jump into that one. After that, we look at the usage of social media and especially how to do it with your garden center. I'm going to show you some tricks to build an audience and also the integration with other online communication channels you might have. I assume you all have something like Facebook in place or a Twitter account and you're not sure how to use it and what's the best way to do it. I'm going to show you some examples of HTA, which you all know, and KLM, the biggest Dutch airline. And they're very inspiring and can give you some ideas about the strength and the opportunities social media offer to you. Well, first, a short introduction to Garden Connect. I'm one of the owners of Garden Connect. We started in 2002 with the company. Right now we're providing websites and web shops and apps to over 200 garden retailers. We sent about 500,000 newsletters to UK customers. And we also help garden centers to make a better use of their social media. And we're having offices in Amsterdam where I'm right now. It's a very sunny day, so I guess you're all busy busy in the UK as well, or at least I hope you're busy because of the weather. The season just started, and we've got an office in Luton next to the airport, so I'm in Luton about once a week, and we've got 2 people working for us in Luton, covering the entire UK and Ireland. Well, the first question, what is social media? Social media is social interaction among people in which they create, share, or exchange information and ideas in virtual communities and networks. You might think that Facebook invented social media. Well, before Facebook, we had MySpace. Before MySpace, you had other similar networks. So social media is quite hyped during the last couple of years. But it isn't a very new one because exchanging information is something which has been done since the internet was invented. However, the number of people doing it right now is enormous. You can reach billions of people via Facebook or Twitter, so there are a lot of opportunities out there. And the question is how to use it and what to do. The first thing I want to explain to you is that most garden retailers I know, especially the smaller independents one, they tend to they tend to use the same communication channels as they did 10 or 15 years ago, and that's normally just an advert on the local newspaper or some signing next to the road. Well, people are changing the way they're communicating with each other, so more and more people are using Facebook and Twitter, and less people are reading local newspapers. So it's important to change your marketing channels as well as consumer habits are changing. So keep that in mind. If you think about social media, yes, it will cost you time, but advertising in the local newspaper is also very costly. It can be very costly. So it's important to shift your old habits, and I know old habits die hard. Well, what kind of social media networks do we have? Of course, the most important one, the biggest one, is Facebook. Facebook is a very, you can use photos from Facebook, so it's a very visual network, and also by far the most popular one. I got a newspaper item about Facebook from December. I'm going to show you. Twitter. Twitter is the short text social media network. So a tweet is a text line of a tweet is a short text of at most 140 characters. So you can't explain a gardening tip onto it. So you should tease people and try to get them to your website. So it isn't a very visual network, and therefore I don't think Twitter should be a starting point if you start with social media. I think Facebook is a better starting point. Not many people do think about YouTube as a social media channel. However, there's a lot of interaction possible on YouTube. So you post a video on it, and people can comment on it, people can share it, they can discuss things about the video. So it's essentially a social network, and you use videos to communicate with each other. Pinterest is a very interesting network, which I'm going to show you in a minute. LinkedIn is more a business-to-business network. We got Sam joining. Good morning, Sam. We just started. It's my third slide of the presentation. I'm glad you're here today. LinkedIn is a perfect way to find your new floor manager or something like that, but it isn't a network where you communicate your offers, promotions, and all that sort of stuff with customers. So leave LinkedIn aside if you're not looking for any new stuff. Google Plus, if you just look at the rough stats and numbers, Google Plus is one of the biggest social media networks out there. However, if you set up a Gmail account, you get your Google Plus account for free. And not many people are using Google Plus to communicate with each other. The people who are using it are more people working in the marketing industry. So I don't think you should start with Google Plus at this moment. It might become one of the biggest networks in the future, as Google will probably try to push it forward and use Google Plus as a factor of the search engine optimization. So to get a higher position in Google, you should use Google Plus. However, that's not really the case right now, so leave that one aside as well. So if we talk about social media, I would say start with Facebook and look at YouTube and Pinterest. Well, if you look at Facebook, this is a news item saying that 600,000 people left Facebook in December. What's happening? I'm not sure what age you are, but you might have teenage kids, and teenagers are always the first one, the early adapter. So MySpace started with kids around 14, 15, 16 years old. They adapt the social network, and from there on, step by step, all the age groups are going to use it. So what's happening? The teenagers started using Facebook a few years ago. They use it massively. They still use Facebook. However, a social media network with your parents on it, your aunt, your uncle, your grandfather or grandmother, is not really sexy. So you don't want to share the things you're doing at the Saturday night with your parents. Or, well, at least most teenagers won't be won't fancy to do it. So what they are doing, they're moving forward to the next network. And also the number of advertisements on Facebook is increasing. So they move away from it to other networks like Instagram, for instance, which happens to be owned by Facebook as well. Now, the number of people using Facebook in the relevant age groups for your garden center, so let's say 35 and over, is still increasing. So if you're reading things like this, you might want to say, well, Facebook is over, I need to move on to the next network. However, your target audience is massively adapting Facebook, and they're the slow adapters. So the people who are starting to use Facebook right now are a little bit older, 35 and over, or even 65 and over, and they heard a lot about Facebook during the recent years, and they started to use it right now. So your target audience is moving online and going to Facebook right now. So don't worry about those news items. On the longer term, however, MySpace was a very well-known social network, vanished away. We had a Dutch website with 12 million users out of 16 million Dutchmen. So literally everyone had an account on their social media network. Within 2 years, they went into bankruptcy. Why? Once the early adapters move away, it can go very rapidly forward to the older age groups. So if people start adapting other networks, you might need to move to another network sooner or later as well. However, the things you do on Facebook can be, well, the experience you gain on Facebook can be used on other social networks as well. So don't worry about it right now. Be prepared to move on to the next work, but your target audience is on Facebook. Well, if we look at a random Facebook page of a garden center, you can access the insights. So what is this explaining to us? Well, it won't surprise you. 88% of the Facebook users of this garden center are women, and only 11 and a bit are men. If you look at the age groups, well, the ones moving away, 13, 17, very low figure. The ones starting to move away, 18 to 24, also very low figure. And there you see this age group, 45, 54. That's the majority of the users, also 55, 64, and 35, 44. So you can see this is your most important customer groups, females 35 and over, and that's the biggest group of Facebook followers of this garden center. So you can see that things happening in the early age groups don't really matter because they're not using, they're not following your page anyway. So don't worry too much about it. And everyone with a Facebook page can access this information. It's called Facebook Insights. It appears on top of your Facebook page when you log in. So have a look and you probably see the same stats on your Facebook page as for this garden center. How to use social media? Well, that's one of the biggest questions. If you talk about social, it means interaction. And from my experience, a lot of people don't really understand interaction if you talk about social media. Compare it to a birthday party. If you're sitting next to someone and the only thing he's doing is talking and not listening, you might think after now, well, this is not a very social person, so I want to move away, sit next to someone who is happy to interact with me so I can speak and listen and the other one can speak and listen. Well, if you're on social media, it's very important to speak, but also to listen to your followers. If you happen to have a Facebook page, you know that people can, well, send you messages or comment on the things you're doing. And the interaction is a very important aspect of social media, so don't underestimate it. The other thing I do see a lot, and well, we can open a page of Nutcuts as an example. Here it is. You should be able to see the Facebook page of Nutcuts right now. The other thing a lot of people are doing is communication of offers. So things like this, you can see over 2,000 likes on the page itself, and this is just a, well, straightforward offer of last week. And you can see that only 2 people liked it, so that's 2 out of 2,000. It's 0.1% of the people who like this. That's because people are not on Facebook to buy from you, and that's the main difference between social media and the advertisement you have in your local media. You shouldn't try to push products and offers on Facebook. It's social media. Interact. How can you interact about an offer? It's impossible. You like it or not, and that's it. So what you'd better do is to do things like this. This is a personal one, so you explain something. And there's one more. You can see all those products. Well, not many likes. Well, you might want to say it's quite boring. Look at this one. So you get 3 kids sitting on a bench and you get 9 likes and 2 shares. So make it personal. Do something different, something people will like, and they will start commenting about it and share it with among their friends. So if you want to achieve interaction, you shouldn't try to do things like this because no one's really interested in your products. But this is interesting. This is why, or this is how you can be successful on Facebook. Again, this photo, well, the giant chair, 23 likes, 5 comments. We can see who commented on it. And if you just log in with your own account, you can comment back to those people as well, so you get your interaction. Well, if you go down, another trick on Facebook is to ask a question. So have they started to spring up in your garden yet? And asking a question always generates answers. So you can see the answers over here from customers. Christine replied yes, and the Snowdonia or Snowdrops sprung up already. So that's a good trick to apply on Facebook, asking questions and to be personal. Well, let's go back to the presentation. So we don't use social media to advertise our offers because I'm not really interested in your offers at all as a customer. You should use it for inspiration and also for information. It's time to, well, it's time to prune roses, it's time to plant your bulbs, etc. So make it visual, so don't use too much text, and don't be too commercial, because social media is a way, you need to interact with your customers, you should inspire them, inform them, but you shouldn't push offers to them. It's not a replacement for your local advertisement or an advertisement in your local newspaper. And that's very clear if you look at the Not Good page. So this is nothing to do about their products. It's just about building the brand, keeping your brand top of mind. If I'm on Facebook and just seeing your brand on Monday, Wednesday, Friday in a very prominent way because my friends like something of you, there's a likely chance on Saturday morning I decide to go to your garden center because you're top of mind because of Facebook. And you won't be top of mind if you just publish your products and ads on it. Very important to keep in mind. Okay, let me see. This is Pinterest. It's a small social network. I'm going to show it to you. This is how Pinterest works. So you just type in something on top of the page and you get all kind of photos from users. There are two ways to use Pinterest. I think 99% of the people on Pinterest are women, so your target audience. And especially women looking for inspiration and something nice to do. So you can do two things on Pinterest. You can just post some nice spot-on products you're selling, and if I click on a link right now or in a photo, I'm forward to the website of the user, so that's working fine. However, the other thing, and most people won't think about it to do it, is to look up IDs for your own store. So you get, if you look for retail IDs, you get all kinds of, well, inspiration, nice photos, how to showcase your products. So you can use it to showcase your own products, or you can just look up some nice IDs how to show your apples, for instance, on this photo. So there are two ways to use Pinterest. The number of users is not that much, so it depends a little bit on your goals and things you want to achieve. To decide if Pinterest is a useful network for you. But I can highly recommend it to you to use Pinterest to look up IDs if you're stuck with your own product presentation in a moment. That's Pinterest. Well, one thing's very clear: humor really helps to generate a buzz online. So what's happening? Someone's posting a thing like, if Taco Bell delivered, they would make so much money today. And then Taco Bell, one of the biggest restaurant brands in the US, replied, we're probably going to make a lot of money today anyway. And they got about 1,500 retweets and over 1,000 people favored this. And being spot on, I'm going to give you some more examples of it. Being spot on is very important, especially if you can add some humor to it. And there's a very famous example of it in Holland. I can't show it to you because you probably won't understand it, but I can explain it. Someone posted tweeted, I just came back from IKEA, I stole some pencils. And everyone knows if you go to IKEA, you pick a pencil to write down the things you want to buy, you put it in your pocket, and then at home you end up with the pencil. Well, that's what this girl did. And IKEA replied, very spot on, within 3 minutes, the police is on the way. And that's a very personal touch because you respond to something which is being said about your brand. They add a sense of humor to it, and that combination generates a lot of positive feedback from people and keeps your brand top of mind, in this case the IKEA brand. So humor really helps to generate interaction. If you look at web care, web care is more or less answering questions from your users. If I buy an olive tree, it's dead within a year, and I post a tweet, you probably want to reply to it. Well, British Airways also provides web care. So you can ask questions to their customer service center, and within 1 or 2 hours they reply to it. And it's a very easy way of customer service from a customer's perspective, and really working well. However, if you're British Airways, it can work against you because people are flying 24/7, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So if you tweet something to British Airways, you should tweet it during working hours, and then you're missing the essential point of social media and Twitter and how it works. So they replied to someone who had a question, sorry for the delay, our Twitter feed is open 9 to 5. Well, how on earth can you come up with something like that? It's online, people are traveling 24/7, so you should provide service 24/7. And then people complain about you, how does a Billion Corp only have 9 to 5 social media? So social media can of course work against you. However, if you look at this, British Airways isn't providing the best possible service at this moment, as you can see from the, on this tweet. So I think the customer is right in this example. In case you get complaints on your Facebook page, and it might happen once in a while, don't worry. Every business does have complaining customers. Even we have complaining customers once in a while, and it's, well, just happens, doesn't it? The best thing to do is to take the discussion from Facebook to a more real-life conversation. So ask for a phone number, an email address, or ask the customer to come to your garden center, because people might be a little bit direct and too spot on Facebook, because it's quite anonymous. So you can just type something and then it's on the Facebook page, and you're always in a disadvantage because you can't really tell the customer what you really think about it, or if you write something, it can be explained a little bit differently than you tended to do. So the best thing, if you're having complaints on Facebook or on social media, is to try to get the conversation from your Facebook page to the real life world. Ask customer to visit your garden center and to find a solution, of course. And the best way. Well, hi, Edwin. I'm sorry to hear that you're not happy with the service we provided. We're happy to find a solution for you. Are you able to visit us, well, on a certain day, or can you please call, and then you give the name of the floor manager and add the number to it. And try to get the discussion from Facebook to the real life world, and that really helps to solve most problems, because people are, well, most of the time when they're complaining, they're looking for an answer and not really want to burn your business down. Another thing, this is another example of British Airways. This one is a little bit better. This is something they did for the Future Pilot program, and they did a Q&A on Facebook. So they, the Future Pilots, could ask questions to well, Lindsay Craig and Kate Ladler. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, sorry about that. Well, that's something you could do as well on Twitter. Just let people ask things about plants or post photos from your Facebook page and give them advice. The thing is that if you do that, you generate a lot of interaction, because people can ask you anything they want to do. And another benefit is that you showcase yourself as an expert of gardening. And if you're the expert, why should I buy on Amazon if you can answer any questions I might have about your products? So to generate the difference between a shop selling products and a knowledge hub, as we try to call garden centers, a knowledge hub about gardening, things like that really help you to achieve that. This is another thing, a very visual image. It won't surprise you. Valentine's Day. If you're a little bit bigger, you get a marketing agency, or if you're very hands-on hands-on with Photoshop yourself, you can do things like this. And of course, this is the Eiffel Tower, Paris, the city of Romans. This is a KLM aircraft, and they made a very nice window on it. Posted this one on Valentine's Day. Well, this takes some time to generate, but as you can see, almost 7,000 people liked it and 172 people shared it. And it means that at least a few 100,000 people have seen this image. And that's all, well, it's not free marketing, but it's a very affordable way of building your brand. So be a little bit creative, as you can see, and add a touch of humor. This is another one. You might want to, well, you can discuss this one. As you probably know, but I'm not sure because you probably shut down your tellies after England had to leave the World Cup in Brazil last summer. KLM is well known to be spot on. So what happened? The Netherlands beat Mexico after a very, well, disputable penalty in the last minute, and they posted this image. And this is a, as you can see, with his sombrero and his mustache. This is a guy from Mexico and departures. Okay, well, this is humor, and I think they generated a lot of likes in Holland. However, they've forgotten they also had some Mexican customers flying, and then you get things like this. I'm never flying your, well, you can read the rest for yourself. So you have to be careful if you try to be spot on and actual on Facebook, that you don't offend anyone. This is also a big fail. Be spot on, be actual, all helps to generate interaction. Gap, it's a big jeans brand or clothing brand, fashion brand in the US. Hurricane Sandy, 2 years ago right now, they post something, well, all impacted by Sandy, stay safe. Well, that's a friendly one. It doesn't say anything, but at least you're thinking about people who are affected by the hurricane. And then they say, we'll be doing lots of Gap.com shopping today. How about you? Well, that's a big fail. People who are trying to save their house, lives, kids, they appreciate any support, even virtual support. It's also always good to know people are thinking about you, but don't be so keen and eager to get a commercial chance out of it. I remember last year there were a lot of floods in the London area. Well, you should be aware of it. You should, or you can, or you should do something, something on it. But you shouldn't try to make money out of disasters happening around you. And this, well, this is working against Gap in this case. A success, a gentleman's guide to doing laundry. Well, I'm a gentleman doing my own laundry, so I know for whom this message is. Use half the amount of detergent that you're about to use. So what I did, LG, they posted this image on Twitter or on Facebook, and people were tagging each other. So if I was thinking, well, my colleague Frank should use less of it, and I had to tag him, and everyone was tagging friends, brothers, nephews, uncles, etc. So this image went viral, and the message behind it, use less detergent, was sent across as well at the same moment. And it's a very successful way of communication. And well, to translate it to gardening during the summer, give your plants enough water, but don't give them too much water, just to do some water preservation. So you can play around with it, and you have to be a little bit creative. But as you can see, nice example, very spot on. Well, as I said, ask questions. If you need some inspiration, by the way, you can just follow the big brands. IKEA is a very good one. British Airways is a good one to follow. Heineken, very creative people out there. So there are plenty of big brands doing things very nice on Facebook and Twitter. And what's happening over here? It's Pancake Day, Swedish style. I do happen to know you really have a Pancake Day in the UK. Sarah, my colleague, explained everything about it to me last year on Pancake Day. Every day is a day. and it's World Animal Day or World Pets Day, it's Mother's Day, it's Father's Day, it's in Holland we got the day of the nude gardening, so I'm not sure if anyone is doing it at that moment, but it gives you input to communicate on a very very spot on way. So try to look up an agenda of well, strange days. You got cat days, you got dog days, you got rose days, you got every day is a day, and you should try to, well, to be spot on and play around with the days and make the link with your products. Well, this is what you shouldn't do. Avoid offers. Already explained that one to you. Don't try to promote products on it. It's just very boring. No one is interested in your products. I might be able to get my compost from John Innes for $2.89 at the Tesco's or something like that. So just don't do it. Keep it up to date. Also, a very simple tip, but if you look at the Blue Diamond Twitter in this case, they posted an image on the 25th of September 2013, as you can see over here, and the next one was on the 12th of July 2014. So during those 9 months, almost 9 months, or 10 months, those 2,891 followers hadn't seen anything from Blue Diamond. So if you're opening a social media channel, keep it up to date. If you're not able to keep it up to date, just don't do it, because if you look at it right now, you might think, well, they haven't posted anything for 9 months. What's happening at Blue Diamond? Have they declared bankruptcy? Did they close down or whatsoever? So do it good or avoid it, but don't do it half like Blue Diamond. I'm going to show you some examples or some videos to get some inspiration, and I have to play around with the audio, so let's see if it's going to work.
Happiness. Is it contagious? Can it really be spread? Can it really make a difference to a person's day? Like really? Could small doses of happiness be delivered like a message in a social media bottle to unsuspecting travelers at one of the world's busiest airports, and make a likable airline even more likable? We were curious to find out. Welcome to KLM Surprise. Armed with our social media toolkit, our little experiment began. First job, find KLM passengers who had checked into their flight via one of KLM's 4 square locations or left a message through Twitter. Second job, search their social profiles. Get to know them as well as you can to think of a personalized gift.
Als zij een heel sportief iemand is en een weekend Rome gaat doen, ja, die is het misschien leuk als we haar zo'n Nike Plus bandje geven.
Nothing fancy, like a house or a sports car. Just small stuff. Carry-on size stuff. Third job, hunt them down and deliver the gift.
100% zeker dat het er is, want ze kreeg net een bericht, denk ik. Door haar KLM zitten.
Goedemiddag. En je liet ons weten via Twitter dat je met ons reist vandaag. Ja. Dus we hebben een kleinigheidje voor je gekocht.
Nou, wat leuk. Maar ik zit er al niet goed voor je. Ja, daar loopt hij. Hoe heet het?
Hoi.
Hoi.
Dag.
Pim, dag.
Pim, je hebt laten weten dat je met ons vliegt vandaag naar Washington.
Ja, dat klopt.
Dus we willen je verrassen met iets, een kleine aardigheid. Dus we hebben een tegoedbon voor je van €15 om apps te downloaden.
Dat is leuk, dankjewel.
After several weeks of handing out little gifts, a few things became apparent. In the age of social media, doing something that creates a real smile on somebody's face is much cooler than attaching a smiley face. But most importantly, it seemed that indeed an airline could use social media to both surprise and make a small difference to a passenger's day. And we're not just guessing, we know, because they told us, and their friends, massively.
Well, this just an example of something you can do with some creativity on Facebook. Well, the translation back to your garden center. If you're having a Facebook page, you can have interaction with your customers, and they tell you about things going on, or you can read what's going through their minds. Why don't you give away a gift if someone says he's moving or renewing his garden, or maybe on a birthday? And don't do it with every customer on your Facebook page. Just try it with a few and play around with it. Well, that's what KLM did, but well, they got 40 people working on social media full time. So I don't think you should try to copy this one, but it gives you some inspiration what to do. And I got another video of IKEA opening a store, which I'm going to show you right now. This is one you can translate easily to gardens. So have a look on it. So this is another example, and I think this one is a little bit closer to your world. Post a garden on Facebook and ask people to tag something. And one thing I learned from an American garden center, they asked people to post their rubbish gardens on Facebook and to tag the owner of it. To apply for a makeover, and you can easily hook into the Love the Plot You've Got campaign from the HTA on that one. And well, just a little bit of creativity can really help you. And don't forget, some things will cost you money on Facebook, or if you need to give away something, but it's just a replacement of your old-fashioned advertisement in the local newspaper. So be prepared to spend some money on it. The usage of social media is free. If you want to achieve something, well, I think the British expression is that if you pay pennies, all you get is monkeys. Well, you don't need monkeys in your garden center, you need customers. So spend some pounds and you probably get them. YouTube, the last video I want to show you, it's a very one of the biggest websites in the world. It's of course the video platform, and it's very easy to make some nice videos. And this one is, well, I think it's made with a I'm going to show it without the audio. This one is made with a mobile phone, so well, quality isn't that good. However, still 26,000 views, 153 likes. So if one thing is clear on social media, it should look nice, it should be informative, but you don't need to be a professional photographer or a video maker. So you can get away with it on social media if you create a video like this. So it doesn't need to be very sophisticated or very professional. You don't need an entire TV crew to make your videos. It's quick information, it should be inspirational, and it can be a little bit human. There should be a human touch on it, and if you do it this way, there's definitely a human touch on it. So gardening videos on YouTube, you do have all the knowledge about gardening within your center available. Try to spread the word. And if I'm in your garden center, you can explain to me how to plant my apple tree. But it's easier if you just make one video and refer me to YouTube to look up the video step by step how to plant it. Well, how does social media work in a business context? Still 5 minutes to go. Well, you need to define your goal according to the SMART definement. Set your targets. Save time every week to it. Very important to allocate staff and or time to it. And also try to analyze the things you're doing. If you're posting an offer, well, you can do it every week probably because it's easy. You got your offer on your email because you have to send it to your newspaper or post it on your website. Well, post it on Facebook, but you won't get that many likes. So why would you do it every week? Try to do something else. If I talk about staff, I know it's very, well, not everyone likes to have his face on Facebook or on the website. However, it's working really, really well to make it personal. And if you especially compare it with web shops, if I'm looking for a product, I can go to Amazon or to Tesco or to eBay. I can buy a product anywhere. I don't need to visit the garden center to buy a product. However, if I want to have knowledge, interaction, inspiration, and information, I should go to a garden center. So make it personal. Another thing working really well are competitions, and try to stay away from like and share, because that's the thing you do if you're not very creative and if you want to copy something else. Of course, it works to generate more likes or followers, but it isn't as fancy as it used to be. And well, I have to look it up, but I think it's even forbidden by Facebook in the meanwhile, because so many businesses were using it. However, if you do it the way as IKEA did, or as the KLM did, surprise people, they will talk about you as well. Do it a little bit differently than other people are doing. Well, the page itself, very important. The big header should be used to generate, well, a nice feeling, inspiration. Don't post offers on it. I think this one's already, well, a gray area. It's an advertisement. I wouldn't do that. I would post some spring photos on it. And this one should be a logo. So the square box should be a logo. It shouldn't be anything else. How to build an audience? Well, like and share. Well, not too keen on that one anymore because too many businesses are doing it. Like and get. That's something you can do. All our Facebook followers are getting a coupon, one product 20% off. Well, it might cost you some margin. Can also generate more traffic to your garden center. Or you can do a prize draw and just give away something to one or more of your followers every week and surprise people. And surprises always help to generate the buzz. On the longer term, post with regular intervals, and I would say 4 or 5 times a week. Be personal. Try to make photos of your staff and try to generate interaction. Well, if you look at offers and how to make it more personal, this is how Tesco's, well, yeah, Tesco, that's on there, is advertising their eggs. Well, why would I pick eggs? Well, I got a good example of it. If you look at this one, it's all about the price because, well, everyone knows what an egg is, so it's about the price. This is how Dutch garden centers advertising their eggs were delivered every morning from a local farm. And this is explaining the same story. You can buy eggs at our garden center. However, it's about a local farmer providing the eggs. This is the staff member responsible for the farm shop over there. So it's essentially the same message, but it's personal. It generates interaction. There's a story behind it. And if you listen to John Stanley carefully, you do know the expression storytelling. And this is a good example of it. So next time you want to post an offer on Facebook, think about the Tesco eggs. Try to stay away from it. Do it this way. Works much better. At last, some tools you might want to use. Hootsuite. It's a up to 5 channels. It's free to use, and you can use multiple social media channels at once. However, it might be a little bit tempting to say, okay, well, I'm going to post the same message on all my networks, but that's not how you should do it. If you're lazy, you won't get that many results. So if you're just starting with social media, use Hootsuite to follow other garden centers on Facebook, see what's going on, what people are telling about you, but don't post the same thing on all channels you got. If this, then that. For the more advanced users, very interesting to see or to set up automated rules on your Facebook page. Pixel Air is a tool to edit photos. Very easy to use. I can highly recommend you to look at pixelr.com. You can use it on your desktop or just in your browser. You can just change the photos, put a filter on it. Very creative, very clever, very easy to understand. Feedly is a tool to process news feeds. Well, again, for the more advanced users, TweetDeck is a tool you can integrate with Twitter to manage your tweets. Facebook Insights is available for on every Facebook page, but I can really recommend you to take a look at some of the figures over there. It's very easy to see what kind of followers you have, what kind of age group, what their interests are. And GIMP is also a tool to edit images. Some advice: master one network and move on to the next network after you mastered the first one. How many posts? As I said, well, 5, 6 a week should be enough. Be sure to interact, and very important, humor really helps. Believe me, if you can let people smile, they can really smile even while spending a lot of money at your garden center. So humor really helps. If you don't have any humor, ask your colleague. Well, thanks for joining the webinar. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll give you some inspiration. It isn't a tutorial how to set up your Facebook page and all that sort of stuff. It's about the inspiration. You can use it on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, or wherever you are. If you have any questions, well, you can, of course, follow me on Facebook, or you can send me an email. And later this year, we're at the HTA Plant Show in June, 4 Oaks Glee, and, well, Grow South, not this year, because it will be next year. Thanks for your interest. If you have any questions, I realize we're at, it's 11:45 right now. But if you have any questions, just let me know in the chat box, because I'm happy to answer them. You're welcome, Sarah. Well, if no one of you has any questions for me, well, Ita, I guess you need to celebrate St. Patrick's Day, so I hope you won't have a big hangover tomorrow, but I'm afraid you will. Can you work smart and feed Twitter into Facebook? And that's a good question, Simon. Of course, you can integrate it together. However, if you do that, you should be aware that the Facebook post you're making is less than 140 characters. Otherwise, you get links from Twitter to Facebook to read the post, and that's not how you should do it. So you can do it, but you should play around and try a little bit to make it look, well, nice and proper. But again, being lazy will never help you to build a successful business, and unfortunately, the same applies to Facebook and Twitter. You're welcome, Jonathan. And you're welcome, Simon. I've recorded this this session, so I'll post it on our YouTube channel. What do you think about blog shares? Well, Sarah, as social media is interaction, you should try to interact with relevant blogs in your industry or your own area. If you have a local newspaper writing stories about, well, gardening or things going around in your area, of course share them, interact with people. Absolutely, really helps. Or maybe with some of the bigger television brands, you can hook into that one as well. What about your own blogs? Well, I do fancy blogs because it's normally a personal way of communication. However, I would encourage you to add them just to your website and not to a separate blog, especially if you're a novice user. But I do like blogs, and we try. I can show it to you. It's not really a blog because you can't comment on it, but we try to make our own post also a little bit personal, and it's in Dutch. I still need to translate it, put it on the UK side, but I visited Frost Garden Center, so I made an entire story of it. I also made a link with something I did in my personal life with at the Katy Perry concert last week, and as you can see, my name is underneath, and a blog is a very more personal way of communication, and I think you should blend it into your communication mix. Caroline, thanks for your 2 questions. Let me see. With Facebook, do you recommend boosts? Yeah, but only with your good posts. And before you can figure out which posts are good, you should gain some experience. But if you spend £5 or £10 to boost your post, you can reach easily, maybe 5 or 10-fold of the number of people you would normally do. So you can try it, but only with your good posts, which are really interesting. And also, is there a best time to post? Yeah, there is a best time to post. And surprisingly, it's early in the morning. We normally try to post around 6 or 7 in the morning, and the analysis show that if we post at that time, we generate the most views. So early in the morning is a good moment to post something on social media. And you can also see the number of people you reach with your post. So you might want to play around with it, post it on, early morning and the next day late afternoon to see how many people you reach. And you shouldn't make your decision after one post. But from our experience, early in the morning is the best moment to post. But you can also, if you do it 1 month, you got 30 posts, you can see it yourself as well if you just use the same time slots all the time. So early in the morning, late afternoon, early in the morning, late afternoon, and you can see the results yourself. From a garden center perspective, I would say early in the morning, because then people do have the entire day to visit your garden center to buy something. If you post something interesting in the afternoon, I need to sleep another night and then I can visit your garden center. So I would say early in the morning. Hope that answers the question. You're welcome, Caroline. Okay, well, I hope you all enjoyed the webinar. It's time to get back into the garden center, I think. Get everything in place and, fancy the customers. I really hope you're able to make the next step in regards to your social media and generate some interaction with your customers via the channels you've got out there. Good luck. Have a good day and a good gardening season, and we'll be in touch sooner or later. Thank you very much.